Hi, everyone. Today I want to talk about delegation. Delegation is essential for sustainable leadership, but many of us really struggle to share the load. For those of us who are high achievers, we've often really succeeded by figuring things out or learning on the go, rolling up our sleeves, and really just overcoming any obstacle or skill gap. And that approach may have gotten us this far, but it's really not sustainable. And there are some common ways of thinking or barriers that can make it difficult for high achievers to be able to delegate. And I want to talk a little bit about those. So the first one is perfectionism, which I've spoken about here a few times before. And this is the idea that I'm the only one who can get it right. And for perfectionists, and especially when the work is deeply meaningful, it can feel really scary to let go of control. And that perfectionism can really be masquerading as commitment. So it can feel like if I let go of this, I don't know what's going to happen, and it might not get done to a high enough standard, and that might impact the work. And what if we go down this spiral? But really, by holding that really tight control, we're maintaining an unsustainable way of working where we're the only ones who can do it. And we're actually not leaning into the skills that are on our team. Another thing that can show up is when your identity is so deeply intertwined with the work that you do. It can feel really scary to let go of things because if you aren't bringing value by doing this work, what does that say about you, your worth, and your value? And so there can be a tendency to want to kind of, again, hold tightly to doing these tasks yourself. And then there's this idea of like the false economy of it's faster to do it myself, right? We sometimes have these moments where we're like, we need to do this the shortest, quickest, fastest way. And that means I'm just going to do it myself because I trust myself and I know I can get this done. And that can be tempting since we live in this urgency culture, but it's actually just perpetuating this idea that tasks need to stay on your plate, and not giving others a chance to come into their own and take on these roles. So it keeps us stuck in this unsustainable way of working. So, what I'd really like to encourage y'all to do is to really be very honest in your assessment around what's working and what's not when you think about delegation. Is doing most of the work yourself working for you? Likely it's not. Um, and as you approach delegation, I invite you to think of it like a scientist. Design some experiments where you start letting go of tasks. You're setting really clear goals and expectations with your team. And then let that experiment run its course. See how it goes. Notice what's working well and maybe what's not working so well, and gather that data. And it may be that the data comes back and says, oh, wow, this actually went better than I expected. And you can use that to challenge the beliefs that you hold around whether or not you can start to let go of some of the things on your plate. Um, or it may be that the data comes back and says that didn't go so well. And that may be a sign that you need to make some adjustments to your team's capacity or to the systems that you're using. But if you're bringing in data through these like scientific experiments, you can be making decisions based on that information rather than on your emotions and just your feelings about what feels comfortable around delegation.